Happy Monday, everybody. This is Beth Knaus from That's a Spade Copywriting Services, and giving you something today to think about as you go through your week. And I know the past few videos have been about the fine line between two different things that you have to juggle in your writing or your business. But I have been thinking a lot about feedback and the importance of feedback and how to do it to the best of your ability that helps the person you're giving feedback to. So the first thing I want to say about feedback is that many times people think feedback is about criticism and scolding, but really feedback is a collaborative partnership. So when you're working with somebody, you need their feedback to guide you. So really it's about guidance. It's not about who's in the position of power and who's being criticized. It's more about what do you need to hear from the person you're working with so you can do a better job. So there's two parts, right? There's the giver and there's the receiver when it comes to feedback. So let's start with this. So if you're the receiver, if you're the person who's doing work for someone, so like me as a writer, if I am working for somebody, the first thing I do is I tell them my rules about feedback. So for me, there are just three simple rules. No cursing, no yelling, no name calling. Otherwise, I need to know, because the more detail I get from you about what a draft that I've written for you looks like, the better it is for me moving forward. So like I like to hear from my clients, am I using the type of language that you would use? Are there words I'm using that you don't want me to use? Do you need me to embellish on something? Is there a statement that's a strong statement and you want it to be a little bit stronger? Are there things I'm starting to talk about that maybe are not what you want to have in this particular piece of content? So that's really helpful to me because that helps me hone in on your voice, on your tone, on your message, how much you want to say or don't want to say, and how you want to deliver it. So those are things that are really important to me. So if you are the giver of feedback, you want to think about giving feedback that is respectful, that is supportive, but that is also direct and clear and honest so that the person knows what you expect in the work that they are producing for you. So I see oftentimes that there's an issue here for people, and I'm going to say, sometimes it's women, but I think for anybody, feedback can be uncomfortable, right? Because maybe as kids or maybe as adults or in somewhere in your life, feedback has not been this positive, healthy, helpful thing. It's been more like you were told that you did something wrong or something that you shouldn't do again. So that's not necessarily this type of feedback, right? Sometimes feedback can be really positive, and that's kind of what we want to focus on. So as the giver, the more feedback you can provide to the person who's doing work for you, the better off you're going to be at the end, right? Because we all want successful outcomes. You want a successful outcome for the service you're paying for, and the person who's providing that service wants to feel successful about what they did and feel like you had this supportive back and forth going on what the end product was supposed to look like. And I think about feedback a lot and how I ask for it and how people give feedback to me. I did have a client at one time that actually we ended up not working together and stopping in the middle of the project because they were really uncomfortable with giving feedback. They felt like they were telling me I wasn't good at what I was doing. And I would say, but I need to know. Are there times when I write a piece of content for a client and the client says, oh, this is perfect, right? Can we just change this one or two little things? That does happen sometimes, but what, I need to know, like if there is something that you don't like in the work, you need to tell me. And it's really rare that somebody is going to hand you a draft and it's going to be 100% perfect from the go. And I think that's what this client thought, that I had this information, that I could put it together and that she wouldn't have to critique it. And you don't have to, you can accept what you get, but if you want it to be the best that it can be, you have to be honest about what needs to be changed or shifted or added for it to really be the piece that you hoped you were going to get from in this instance from a copywriter. So think about feedback. Think of it more as helping. Think of it as giving, right? You're the giver, so you're giving feedback and it's really helpful. And as the receiver, allow yourself to accept that and to see it as helpful and to know that it's just going to help you do a better job. So I'd love to talk more about feedback. If anybody has any comments, please feel free to leave them here on the under the video, comment on the video or on the social post or wherever you see this. As always, I'd love to chat more with you about your content or about what's going on and how you communicate about your business. I hope you have a fabulous Monday, and I will see you next week.